The realities of the more robotic future of work will have to accommodate other economies that are looking towards industrialization. This is the sentiment shared by the International Labour Organization's Director General, Ryder. He was speaking at the last day of the Future of Work symposium currently underway in Geneva.
Africa is pushing more and more towards industrialization, but the future of work can be seen moving further away from it. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals also highlight the need for job creation and industrialization in Africa. Ryder says this is the reality that will have to be accommodated for different economies.
But if you look at Africa, I believe industrialization is an important part of the future of work. And, it won't be a repeat of industrialization that Europe and North America and Japan knew 30, 40, 50 years ago, whatever it is. It will look different. It will be different. And Africa, I think, has a number of, if I may speak specifically to Africa, a number of advantages in that regard. Because if we factor in the climate change imperatives into the story, if we understand that the industrialization of the future will have to be green industrialization, for many reasons, Africa has some advantages. One, in terms of energy sources. If I talk to the Economic Commission in Africa, they also think that finance is available in Africa, potentially, or should be available to Africa. There are enormous number of comparative advantages to be had. But to be very, very explicit in my answer, I do think that for the developing and emerging economies, industrialization has to be a part of the future.
The role of the youth in this changing phenomenon is another aspect that will influence the future of work.
Lots of things are being disrupted and have been disrupted, I think, for quite a long time. I mean, for 10 years ago, I think already the different forms of work that young people are trying to enter is very different. The forms of contracts are very different. And young people are happy to finally find a job. So they're entering this kind of job. But I think the main issue is about then what will happen to them in the future. I mean, what kind of protection will they have, because these different kind of jobs allow them to have a job today, but what about the protection, the contributions to pensions, for instance? Here in Europe it's really important, that you have a job, but this is also about security, and then when you will retire you will have access to your pension. But with the new forms of work, no one really knows.
Government are not pushing on the right direction, and sometimes they are seen as having no solution or not relevant solution on these challenges linked to the future of work. But I think the key is youth themselves, young people themselves, how they will use the existing tool, maybe to change it, existing tools like trade union movement, to take it as an opportunity to take more power in the society, to take more power in their company, to be respected in their society, and to shape the future.
The ILO says with 10 to 12 million young Africans entering each year the labour market, the region needs to better support youth empowerment for the future through quality education, skills development and creation of decent job opportunities. Given the vastly different labour dynamics and complexities that countries are already grappling with, it's clear that the world will not move in the same pace into this changing world of work. While others will be more concerned about whether or not to tax robotics, others will be more concerned about creating employment. Diabosito, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.